Hare Krishna. Welcome to all you great souls. Only great souls come here for Bhadra Purnima. This is a very special occasion. Today is a day mentioned in the 12th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, 13th chapter, 13th verse. It says, if on a full moon day of the month of Bhadra, that's today, one places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. So this is the impetus. Devotees all over the world, of course, are already interested in the Srimad Bhagavatam and giving it to others. But getting this little nudge from the Srimad Bhagavatam itself has worked wonders. As every part of the world we're hearing from now, devotees have caught the fever, the Bhadra fever. I heard just this afternoon from Vrindarika in the UK, and she said the devotees are going wild over there, distributing sets. There's something in the air. And in India, it's going on. We heard from devotees on our call on Sunday, was it Sunday? Washington, D.C., and Baltimore. Where else did we hear from? Laguna Beach, Toronto, Chicago, Naperville, Illinois. And leaders were checking in from different Sankirtan parties and recounting how their distribution of Bhagavatams was going. In North Carolina, Aditya Narayan Prabhu and his gang. So it's a very auspicious point. How did Prabhupada actually arrange to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world? It was a very humble beginning, as he came with very few resources, one might say, but then on another side, one might say that he came with the greatest of all resources, the Srimad Bhagavatam, and the order to distribute it, and through a sustained effort, being very patient to make it available to people, devotees started to hear it and realize the benefits of it, and now there's a very good likelihood that we can continue expanding the distribution of the full Srimad Bhagavatam to millions of people all over the world and popularize this literature. Make sure that it's in every part of the world. So Bhadra Purnima is as good excuse as any, but probably better than most, to emphasize this distribution of the Bhagavatam. It's one of the reasons that there are all these benedictions given in the Srimad Bhagavatam to remind us that this is the greatest boon in life, to come in contact with Krishna, his various incarnations. But of all the different incarnations, the Srimad Bhagavatam, his book incarnation, is especially merciful because it avails itself to people who, in their homes. I mean, we could put one in the White House. Has anyone done that? You talked to Trump? Because he'd probably take one. No? Oh, we better use the mic. Maybe somebody call him right now and see if we could put it in the Situation Room or in the Oval Office right behind the desk.
One of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, he came for San Francisco Ratha Yatra, and he saw the campaign, Bhadra campaign, and he got a set for one of his friends with the golden throne. And then after that, he went back and he wrote to me. He said, I purchased 2 more sets, one I'm sending to the White House.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know do you have his number?
I have his number, but no. He's from Washington, D.C.
Do you remember his name?
I'll just...
Okay. Let's follow up and see if the Bhagavatam made it into the White House. So we can urge them to have a press conference, emergency press conference, and mention to people all over the world. He could give one to Kim Jong-un, and Kim Jong-un could give one to the, perhaps North and South Korea could exchange Bhagavatams. And maybe we could give one to the, I forget what the respectful title is for the leader in Iran. Does anybody know? Ayatollah. We can get one for the Ayatollah. Everyone can appreciate the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's the spotless Purana. And it rejects all religious activities that are materially motivated. This is the point. And one day when I was at Govinda's restaurant in Tokyo, I was having lunch with Satyadev Prabhu, and just before I had arrived there, I had picked up my 2 copies of Watchtower, or Awake, actually, I think it's called, from the Jehovah's Witness. They give those out different places around the world. They're very organized. And I was looking through, seeing how they lay it out and what kind of material they put in while we were in the restaurant. And I was telling Satyadev of all the different Christian groups, I always find that the Jehovah's Witnesses are the least likely to be interested in Krishna consciousness. Whereas, for instance, the Mormons are much more open-minded, and they'll have an open discussion. So just as I finished saying that, the owner of the restaurant, Madhu Mangal Prabhu, came over and he said, "Oh, I have a friend here I'd like to introduce you to." He was a Japanese man, and he was a Jehovah's Witness. He said he comes here every week for prasadam, and he's reading Prabhupada's books, and he's very interested. So we had a discussion with him, and I asked him what he liked about the books, and he said, "I liked it because there's no material motive. It's only worshiping God for the sake of loving Him and worshiping Him without asking anything in return," which I thought was profound. And he said, "I also find you Hare Krishna people to be very sincere." I said, "How is that?" And he said, "Because," he said, your ISKCON is very disorganized." He said, "But still, you're so enthusiastic." And he said, "But don't worry. Our church was like that about 100 years ago also. And it takes some time to become more organized." So people from all different backgrounds can appreciate Bhagavatam. Prabhupada, when he was still in India, before he came to America, journeyed all the way to Kashmir. And there he put a standing order of his books in a Muslim university. Nobody knew that until later. A couple of devotees, Vaisesika Prabhu and Satyanarayan Prabhu, were traveling around for what was back then called the Library Party, Bhaktivedanta Library Party. And they would go and sell standing orders of Prabhupada's books to various libraries. And they would go through the requisitions librarian, who's the one who would order the books and pay for them. At first they were trying to go to professors and get them to take the books, but nobody would take them. And it was very difficult. But then they asked Prabhupada what they should do. And he said that find at least one professor that has recognition, who's recognized around the world. And when he takes, ask him to write a letter appreciating the books. And they did find one person who was a well-known professor. And he did write a letter. And then they started taking the letter around, and they would show the other professors. And without even asking much more about the books, they said, "Well, if he took it, we'll take it. And then could we get a letter from you?" And then they collected all these letters, and they would go around and show them. And more professors would simply order them, and then they'd take the requisition slip to the librarian, and then the librarian would just order them. And they were doing lots and lots of sets like that. So they were doing it in many countries around the world. One of them was in India, and they went traveling up into the northern region. And when they went to several places, they found that there was already standing orders that had already been purchased. They said, "Who did you get it from?" He said, "Oh, I think from the author himself." And when they came back down to Vrindavan and met Prabhupada, they asked him about it. And he said, "Oh yes, I went up there to these different places." He remembered the different landmarks that he had encountered on the way to these universities. And Prabhupada had laid the groundwork for Bhagavatam. In other words, he did a lot of hard work traveling all over India by himself, carrying the books with him, somehow arranging for them to be shipped there and doing all the behind-the-scenes work to follow up, make sure people pay, and take the accounts. All this kind of heavy lifting he did to spread the Srimad Bhagavatam. Then what to speak of the impetus he had to go across the ocean in order to bring the Bhagavatam to the world. And could you bring me a songbook? I want to read just part of what Prabhupada wrote in his entry in his diary on the way bringing the Bhagavatam. So who was it?
Prabhuji, it is Sahadev Prabhu.
Sahadev. Oh.
And he joined in New York Temple, 51st Street.
Right.
And he was trained by you and Sanjay Prabhu.
Ah, that's funny.
And
51st.
51st.
340 West 55th.
Yeah. And then he said that after seeing the poster in San Francisco Rath Yatra, he distributed 4 more sets of Bhagavatam, and one was sent to White House. He sent
Let's
it to
stay
White
in
House.
touch with Sahadev. He's part of our team now.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Where does he live?
Right now, he lives in Los Angeles for some time, and he lives in Philadelphia because he has a business in Los Angeles.
Okay. Stay in close touch. So, when Prabhupada was on the Jaladuta, he wrote the following words. He said, the following. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. But I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Most of the people here are covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied, and therefore they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. I do not know how they will be able to understand it. But I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible because you are the most expert mystic. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? O Lord, I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. All living entities have become under the control of the illusory energy by your will, and therefore, if you like, by your will they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. I wish that you may deliver them. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only will they be able to understand your message. The words of the Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation. And if a sober person repeatedly receives them with submissive oral reception, then he will be able to understand your message. It is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1:17 through 21, Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, supersoul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desires for material enjoyment accumulated in the core of the heart of the devotee, who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature's modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness, and he becomes completely happy. Thus established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the self as master. Do you remember that Radhika quoted that last part of this yesterday? Do you remember the context? Oh, you got to use the mic.
He was telling about when we are in a situation where we have to forgive someone, we have to see ourselves that I am getting upset or I am getting angry at certain situation. So in that way, it's not exactly like you be the seer of yourself. That's what I was talking about.
The higher self sees the lower self reacting. Nice. They will become liberated from the influence of the modes of ignorance and passion, and thus all inauspicious things accumulated in the core of the heart will disappear. How will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore, I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. Somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or failure as you like. O spiritual master of the worlds, I can simply repeat your message. So if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. I am sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel engladdened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. O Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance. Make me dance, O Lord, make me dance as you like. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhaktivedanta, and now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhaktivedanta. So Prabhupada was meditating on the effect that the Srimad Bhagavatam would have on the world. And we're fortunate because we got to take up that legacy. Prabhupada offered it to us as a seva. And even now, devotees are just beginning that seva. For a long time, Bhagavatams have simply sat in the warehouse, and only a few here or there were distributed. 10 here, 10 there. You know, sometimes in devotee communities, only from the gift shop or as an afterthought, someone would take a set of Bhagavatams. It was not a prominent part of the general program to introduce the Bhagavatam. But now we have the opportunity to make sure that everybody has at least one set of Bhagavatams. There should be one in every room. And everyone who has Bhagavatam should also make it available to all their friends and relatives. And then take it upon themselves to make sure that many more people get it. And that way, through the power of multiplication, we'll be able to spread the Bhagavatam all over the world in many different languages as well, so that people can read it and come to the ultimate goal of life, which is to develop love for Krishna. And in the process of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, as we just heard, one develops spiritual credits, punya shravana kirtana, just by hearing. And not only that, Krishna, who's within the heart, helps the devotee who listens to his messages to remove any of the anarthas. And that means that Krishna becomes pleased with the devotees who are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the natural and guaranteed way to make advancement in spiritual life is to hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. At least for some time every day, everyone should hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. What do you think for some time means, would you say? According to your experience.
I think minimum a page we should read. I think that's the minimum I would say.
In the temples, Prabhupada established a morning program where you go through one verse very carefully and discuss it. But it helps to also make progress in reading through the whole Bhagavatam. Like if you read just a minimal number of pages, like 8 pages a day, then you can finish the Bhagavatam in just 5 years. And that's gives a nice overview of what's actually going on in the Bhagavatam. So that's highly recommended also. So today we have the Bhagavatam on this beautiful throne, and people have been calling in all day to place their orders for these sets of Bhagavatams, and also on our Facebook page we see that the the orders are coming in because devotees realize that this is the day. Today is Bhadra Purnima. And when you give away a set of Bhagavatams on this day, then it says right here in 12:13:13, I repeat, if on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, one places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. So that's a good idea. You've all been giving away sets, right, as gifts? Did it feel good? Did the people appreciate it? Yeah. You sent it to India? That's exciting, isn't it? What will happen when the Bhagavatam arrives? There was a really nice devotee here from Denver last night. What's his name? Huh? Garrison. Garrison got a set last night. He wrote me a nice letter this morning. Very, overwhelmingly appreciative of getting the Bhagavatam. He said he always dreamed that someday he'd have the Bhagavatam. He just didn't think it would happen like this. So it's a good way to organize our community, is to make sure that Bhagavatams are going out constantly and going into people's homes and apartments. Yeah. Kalakeli remembers when we did an installation of the Bhagavatam in her house. We put the Bhagavatam in there. We had a ceremony, installation ceremony. And then, I don't know if it was that same day, but maybe it was a week later or something, she gave us all the keys to get into the apartment complex. And we went door to door. And we went to all the houses. And we distributed many more Bhagavatam sets inside there. Which is why there's apartments in the first place. Lord Chaitanya has arranged it so that people are close by, so we don't have to walk that far between houses. When I was recently in the UK, we did a monthly Sankirtan festival, and we were out on a very busy motorway, as they say there, and we were going to big houses, a very wealthy neighborhood actually. And I had shown the devotees that if you hold up your hand and you say hi, then when people are ripe and they're open to taking a book, that they'll say hi back, and then you can make a closer relationship with them. So I was standing on one side of the motorway with a group of devotees, maybe 15 or so. And I looked across, because we were going to houses and people were far and few between there. So I was looking for any living entity that was moving, especially humans. And when I looked across the street, there was a man about 100 meters away, that far from this house, across the street to his house. And I saw him looking at us. And I went like this. I went, hi. And he stopped and looked. He was mesmerized. And he raised his hand, but he didn't say anything. And I said it again, but I saw that he wasn't turning away. So I crossed the street. Other devotees followed behind me, and I went to the man. And it turned out he was deaf and dumb. Couldn't speak, couldn't hear. So then, I handed him the book, and then I wrote everything down. I saved that in my little notebook, what I said to him. And he was very happy. He went inside his house and he brought out 20 quid, 20 pounds. He gave it for the book and took it away. And I was just feeling how all living entities are waiting in their homes, especially the rich people, because they're wondering when something's going to happen. I spent all this money, and now I'm just sitting here. It's not actually, nothing's really going on here. And Prabhupada wrote in his poetry, before he came to America, he was in Vrindavan planning out how he would spread the Bhagavatam to every town and village, how he would give the holy name to everybody in this world. And then he said something that I always remember, that people are sitting in their homes and they're looking out the window down the road and they're wondering, when will Nitai and Gaur come and save me? So when we go out to show Bhagavatam to people, there's the kind of a quiet desperation we find in their homes. It's not that they're always immediately open to having us come in and talk to them about Bhagavatam, but in their heart they are, because every living entity is looking for something more than they have now, and they're not sure where to get it. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told his renunciates that every day you should go out and knock at least 3 doors. He said, and even if people don't receive you well, they'll look out and they'll see that, oh, there was some spiritual person here, and it will remind them of the goal of life. So it's a worthy occupation to take up this occupation of spreading Bhagavatam all over the world. After all, it is the best literature in the world. There's no other scripture or literature that compares to the Srimad Bhagavatam anywhere in the 3 worlds. We have this Bhagavatam, it's 12 cantos, 18,000 verses. But according to the Puranas, as quoted by Jiva Goswami in the Tattva Sandarbha, on higher planetary systems there are larger versions of the Bhagavatam. Some of them have hundreds of thousands of verses, some of them have 1 million verses or more. And I was just thinking how we're lucky in some ways, because we'd have to have a much bigger place to store them. I don't know, one set of Bhagavatams would probably take up this whole block. I don't know if anybody has a house that it would fit in. They must have bigger houses in the heavenly planets to fit those Bhagavatams. In any case, it's celebrated all over the world, and even in secular world, in academics, those who look at the Bhagavatam realize that it's the most sophisticated poetry, and one can judge a culture by the language that's used in the culture. And there's no more poetical or intricate language than the Sanskrit that's in the Srimad Bhagavatam, of any other literature in the world. And of course, nobody else gives us this information about how the world actually works. What happens here in this material world is that we go through a process of suffering and ignorance, because we're born into the world but we're not sure where we came from, and then we're threatened by non-existence. Even as we try to live a balanced life, we're always thinking everything can be taken away at every second, and it's true. But you won't read about that in the New York Times or the Washington Post or modern day self-help novels. They don't really go very deeply within the conundrum of the soul here in the material world. But the Bhagavatam comes out and tells us exactly what's going on, why it's going on, why we're suffering, how we can get out of the predicament that we're in. And this straightforward knowledge is what is really necessary to extricate us from any kind of suffering that we have in the material world and reach the goal of life. So people put a lot into distribution of all different kinds of literatures, but there's no more important occupation than distributing the Srimad Bhagavatam. So our ISKCON society really is meant to be centralized for the purpose of distributing the Bhagavatam to people all over the world. Prabhupada wanted devotees to be independent and free thinking, but he did want the distribution of his books to be very much centralized. He wanted us to form alliances and teams to share resources and best practices so that we could spread the Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world. That's one of the reasons that we seized upon this day of Bhadra Purnima, recognizing that on this day, devotees from all over the world could join together and make a gift of the Srimad Bhagavatam to people and make facilities so that people could gift the Srimad Bhagavatam to others. And this will make a difference on the planet, that the sound vibration of the Bhagavatam is going out to others. Do you agree? Yes. I thought so. That's why I said in the beginning, you're all great souls. Who else would come on a Monday night to a program for Bhadra Purnima? So we're going to chant the Mahamantra, and before we do, we make a special prayer. Dear Srila Prabhupada, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Bhadra Purnima personified, please empower us to take a lead role in distributing the Srimad Bhagavatam to people all over the world. Please give us the intelligence and the resources and the physical wherewithal to expand the distribution of the Srimad Bhagavatam in amazing ways that will make Srila Prabhupada smile and Lord Chaitanya to continue to pour his blessings upon us here and all over the world for all the devotees in our organization. Thank you for considering our requests. Om Tat Sat. Everyone who agrees with what I just said, please say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktarin. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Two. One on the stand and one in the hand. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
One more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna
Double.
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Other part.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Go Premanande Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo
Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol.
Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo
Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol.
Shri Bhadra Purnima ki jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitanina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, chapter number 12. This is called the Srimad Bhagavatam Summarized. Sutta Goswami said, offering my obeisances to the supreme religious principle, devotional service, to Lord Krishna, the supreme creator, and to all the brahmanas, I shall now describe the eternal principles of religion. O great sages, I have narrated to you the wonderful pastimes of Lord Vishnu as you inquired about them from me. Hearing such narrations is the suitable engagement for a person who is actually a human being. Purport: the words Naranam Purushochitam indicate that men and women who actually come to the standard of human life hear and chant the glories of the Supreme Lord, whereas uncivilized people may not be interested in the science of God. 3. This literature fully glorifies the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, who removes all his devotees' sinful reactions. The Lord is glorified as Narayan, Rishikesh, and the Lord of the Sattvatas. Purport: Lord Krishna's many holy names indicate his extraordinary transcendental qualities. The name Hari indicates that the Lord removes all sins from the heart of his devotee. Narayan indicates that the Lord sustains the existence of all other beings. Rishikesh indicates that Lord Krishna is the ultimate controller of the senses of all living beings. The word Bhagavan indicates that Lord Krishna is the all-attractive supreme being, and the words Sattvatam Pati indicate that the Lord is naturally the master of saintly and religious people, especially the members of the exalted Yadu family. Text 4. This literature describes the mystery of the Supreme Absolute Truth, the source of the creation and annihilation of this universe, also presented our divine knowledge of Him together with the process of its cultivation and the transcendental realization one achieves. So a note to our listeners online, we're gathered here tonight for the occasion of Bhadra Purnima. This is a day on which, when one gives the Srimad Bhagavatam as a gift, one receives the benediction of going back home, back to Godhead. So all day long, people have been calling in here wondering where they can get Bhagavatam sets, how they can participate. So there's a couple ways. One way is that you can donate, and we will personally distribute a Bhagavatam for you for Bhadra Purnima, or we'll send you the set and you can send it to someone else. As long as you make the Sankalpa for this day, then the logistics will follow thereafter, and the full benediction will be there. So we have displayed here on this beautiful throne the full Srimad Bhagavatam in all its glory and splendor. And we have more of them. They're in big boxes that are the nuclear option. If you're tired of the way your life's going and you would like to, in one fell swoop, annihilate all of your suffering. Then get the Srimad Bhagavatam and put it in your home. And if you can't afford it, then find someone that can give it to you, because they'll be happy to do it today on Bhadra Purnima, because they know they'll go back to Godhead. So just don't be shy today. Ask. And today's the day to get your Bhagavatams and move them around the world. We also have an arrangement that if you'd like to send them to India, if you have a loved one, a friend, or even someone you hate in India, send them a Bhagavatam set, because then you'll start liking them a lot better after they get it. And we'll make the arrangement from here. We'll have it sent directly from Hyderabad to the door of the person that you're thinking of right now. And all you have to do is call in. What number, Shraddha, do they call into?
650
650
245
245
70
70
18.
18. Once again,
650 245 70 18.
did anybody memorize that? 245 7018. Okay. Call it now, call it often. We'll be here all night waiting for your calls to come in. And now's the time to order a full set of Bhagavatams, either to be sent to somebody in India or here in the North America region, or anywhere else in the world. We'll facilitate. If you know someone in Finland, Greece, Turkey, let us know. We'll make sure they get the Bhagavatam, because we're not playing around. Okay, 5. The following topics are also narrated. Anything, Shraddha? You were going to? Okay. The following topics are also narrated. The process of devotional service, together with its subsidiary feature of renunciation, are the histories of Maharishi Parikshit and the sage Narada. Also described are saintly King Parikshit sitting down to fast until death in response to the curse of a Brahmana's son, and the conversations between Parikshit and Shukadeva Goswami, who is the best of all Brahmanas. The Bhagavatam explains how one can attain liberation at the time of death by practicing fixed meditation and yoga. It also contains a discussion between Narada and Brahma, an enumeration of the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and a description of how the universe was created in progressive sequence, beginning from the unmanifested stage of material nature. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that it would be difficult to give a complete list of the numerous accounts and topics contained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, it is understood that Sutta Goswami is merely summarizing the topics. We should not consider the topics he fails to mention here less important or superfluous, since every letter and word of Srimad Bhagavatam is absolute. Krishna consciousness, Krishna conscious sound vibration. 8. This scripture also relates to the discussions Vidura had with Uddhava and with Maitreya. Inquiries about the subject matter of this Purana and the winding up of creation within the body of the Supreme Lord at the time of annihilation. Welcome to everybody who joined us online. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Happy Bhadra Purnima, the day in which, when you give away a full set of Srimad Bhagavatams, you go back home, back to Godhead. I'm not making this up. This is in the Holy Scripture itself. So an intelligent person might think, well, why not? It says it, I'm going to try, and I'll send a Srimad Bhagavatam. The fact is that the Bhagavatam is the most important of all literatures in the world. Human beings need literature to survive. They have to entertain subtle and nuanced thoughts within their mind. They need aesthetics. They need beauty. All that beauty and aesthetic that everyone's searching for is there within the Bhagavatam. Just the very words themselves, if you look at the Sanskrit, even if you can't read it, it's so beautiful because this is a completely refined language. And then when you start to see that the author of this book and his team of diligent workers took decades to put together not just the Sanskrit, but also the Romanized Sanskrit so anybody can pronounce it using a standardized process. So you can make the same vibration that's in the book yourself. And then the word for word, nobody does that. You don't find that anywhere else. Then the translation, painstakingly gone through by the editors that Prabhupada appointed to make sure that everything was perfectly aligned within his books. And then the purports. Srila Prabhupada commentated up until the 10th canto, 13th chapter of the Bhagavatam. And after that, he asked his students to continue, which they did, onward from the 14th chapter of the 10th canto all the way to through the 12th canto. And what a beautiful job they all did. So we're reading from that 12th canto right now. The creation, other topics include the subtle and gross movements of time. The creation effected by the agitation of the modes of material nature, the 7 stages of evolution by elemental transformation, and the construction of the universal egg, from which arises the universal form of the Supreme Lord. All these are thoroughly described. Other topics include the subtle and gross movements of time, the generation of the lotus from the navel of Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, and the killing of the demon Hiranyaka when the earth was delivered from the Garbhodak ocean. The Bhagavatam also describes the creation of demigods, animals, and demoniac species of life, the birth of Lord Rudra, and the appearance of Swayambhuva Manu from the half-man, half-woman, Ishvara. And now I'm skipping ahead to the 13th chapter because I just read the note that was passed to me. And now I'm on an expedited schedule. And I want you to hear part of the 13th chapter. But if you go through this 12th chapter, you'll find a summary of the Bhagavatam. That's done also. The pastimes of Krishna in the 10th canto are summarized in the 3rd canto also. You'll find that when Sri Uddhava begins to speak to Vidura, he describes all the pastimes in the 10th canto. Now, here's the chapter called The Glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Text number 1, Sutta Goswami said, unto that personality whom Brahma, Varuna, Indra, Rudra, and the Maruts praise by chanting transcendental hymns and reciting the Vedas with all their corollaries, Padmakramas, and Upanishads, to whom the chanters of the Samaveda always sing, whom the perfected yogis see within their minds after fixing themselves in trance and absorbing themselves within him, and whose limit can never be found by any demigod or demon. Unto that Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my humble obeisances. You like that? Let the record show Mukharavina likes this. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as Lord Kurma, a tortoise, his back was scratched by the sharp-edged stones lying on massive whirling Mount Mandara, and this scratching made the Lord sleepy. May you all be protected by the winds caused by the Lord's breathing in this sleepy condition. Ever since that time, even up to the present day, the ocean tides have imitated the Lord's inhalation and exhalation by piously coming in and going out. Now please hear a summation of the verse length of each of the Puranas. Then hear of the prime subject and purpose of this Bhagavat Purana, the proper method of giving it as a gift, the glories of such gift giving, and finally the glories of hearing and chanting this literature. Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to be given as a gift. It's mentioned here several times. It's warming us up for the verse that comes later about Bhadra Purnima. This next verse describes how there are various Puranas that have various lengths, and how the Srimad Bhagavatam was revealed in full. Okay, this is text number 4 through 9. The Brahma Purana consists of 10,000 verses, the Padma Purana only 50,000, Sri Vishnu Purana of 20,000, the Shiva Purana of 24,000, the Srimad Bhagavatam of 18,000. The Narada Purana has 25,000 verses, the Markandeya Purana 9,000, the Agni Purana 15,400, the Bhavishya Purana 14,500, and the Brahma Vaivarta Purana 18,000, and the Linga Purana 11,000. The Varaha Purana contains 24,000 verses, the Skanda Purana 81,100, the Vamana Purana 10,000, the Kurma Purana 17,000, the Matsya Purana 14,000, the Garuda Purana 19,000, and the Brahmanda Purana 12,000. Thus, the total number of verses in all the Puranas is 400,000. 18,000 of these, once again, belong to the beautiful Bhagavatam. It was to Lord Brahma that the Supreme Personality of Godhead first revealed the Srimad Bhagavatam in full. At the time, Brahma, frightened by material existence, was sitting on the lotus flower that had grown from the Lord's navel. From the beginning to end, the Srimad Bhagavatam is full of narrations that encourage renunciation of material life, as well as nectarian accounts of Lord Hari's transcendental pastimes, which give ecstasy to the saintly devotees and demigods. This Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedanta philosophy because its subject matter is the absolute truth, which, while non-different from the spirit soul, is the ultimate reality, one without a second. The goal of this literature is exclusive devotional service unto that supreme truth. If on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, one places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. Here today we're celebrating Bhadra Purnima and we're giving away as gifts these Bhagavatams on a golden throne. We imported golden thrones from India. They're beautiful. People actually, many are buying the golden thrones or buying the Bhagavatam just so they can get the golden throne, which is interesting. All other Puranic scriptures shine forth in the assembly of saintly devotees only as long as that great ocean of nectar, Srimad Bhagavatam, is not heard. Srimad Bhagavatam is declared to be the essence of all Vedanta philosophy. One who has felt satisfaction from its nectarian mellow will never be attracted to any other literature. Just as the Ganga is the greatest of all rivers, Lord Achyuta, the supreme among deities, and Lord Shambhu, Shiva, the greatest of Vaishnavas, so Srimad Bhagavatam is the greatest of all Puranas. O Brahmanas, in the same way that the city of Kashi is unexcelled among holy places, Srimad Bhagavatam is supreme among all Puranas. Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless Purana. It is most dear to the Vaishnavas because it describes the pure and supreme knowledge of the Paramahamsas. This Bhagavatam reveals the means for becoming free from all material work, together with the processes of transcendental knowledge, renunciation, and devotion. Anyone who seriously tries to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, who properly hears and chants it with devotion, becomes completely liberated. I meditate upon that pure and spotless supreme absolute truth who is free from suffering and death, and who, in the beginning, personally revealed this incomparable torchlight of knowledge to Brahma. Brahma then spoke it to the sage Narada, who narrated it to Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas. Srila Vyasadeva revealed this Bhagavatam to the greatest of sages, Shukadeva Goswami, and Shukadeva mercifully spoke it to Maharaj Parikshit. We offer our obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vasudeva, the all-pervading witness, who mercifully explained this science to Brahma when he anxiously desired salvation. I offer my humble obeisances to Sri Shukadeva Goswami, the best of mystic sages and a personal manifestation of the absolute truth. He saved Maharaj Parikshit, who is bitten by the snake of material existence. O Lord of Lords, O Master, please grant us pure devotional service at your lotus feet, life after life. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Hari, the congregational chanting of whose holy names destroys all sinful reactions, and the offering of obeisances unto whom relieves all material suffering. I'm going back to the 12th canto, 12th chapter, verse number 45. 46, 47. If when falling, slipping, feeling pain, or sneezing, one involuntarily cries out in a voice, "Obeisances to Lord Hari," one will be automatically freed from all his sinful reactions. "48. When people properly glorify the Srimad Bhagavatam, when people properly glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or simply hear about his power, the Lord personally enters their hearts and cleanses away every trace of misfortune. Just as the sun removes the darkness, or as a powerful wind drives away the clouds." That's got to be one of the best verses ever, isn't it? He cleanses away every trace of misfortune. That's Lord Hari. Words that do not describe the transcendental personality of Godhead, but instead deal with temporary matters, are simply false and useless. Only those words that manifest the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Lord are actually truthful, auspicious, and pious. Those words describing the glories of the all-famous personality of Godhead are attractive, relishable, and ever fresh. Indeed, such words are a perpetual festival for the mind, and they dry up the ocean of mercy. Those words that do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows, and are never resorted to by those situated in transcendental knowledge. The pure and saintly devotees take interest only in topics glorifying the infallible Supreme Lord. On the other hand, that literature, which is full of the descriptions of transcendental glories of the Lord, of his name, fame, forms, and pastimes, and so on, is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. Knowledge of self-realization, even though free from all material affinity, does not look well if devoid of a conception of the infallible God. What then is the use of even the most properly performed fruitive activities, which are naturally painful from the very beginning and transient by nature, if they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord? The great endeavor one undergoes in executing the ordinary social and religious duties of the Varnashrama system, in performing austerities and in hearing from the Vedas, culminates only in the achievement of mundane fame and opulence. But by respecting and attentively hearing the recitation of the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Lord, the husband of the Goddess of Fortune, one can remember his lotus feet. Remembrance of Lord Krishna's lotus feet destroys everything inauspicious and awards the greatest good fortune. It purifies the heart and bestows devotion for the Supreme Soul, along with knowledge enriched with realization and renunciation. O most eminent of Brahmanas, you are all indeed extremely fortunate, since you have already placed within your hearts Lord Sri Narayan, the personality of Godhead, the supreme controller and the ultimate soul of all existence, beyond whom there is no other God. You have undeviating love for him, and thus I request you to worship him. I have also now been fully reminded of the science of God, which I previously heard from the mouth of the great sage, Shukadeva Goswami. I was present in the assembly of great sages who heard him speak to King Parikshit as the monarch sat fasting until death. O Brahmanas, I have thus described to you the glories of the Supreme Lord Vasudeva, whose extraordinary activities are most worthy of glorification. This narration destroys all that is inauspicious. One who, with undeviating attention, constantly recites this literature at every moment of every hour, as well as one who faithfully hears even one verse, or half a verse, or a single line, or even half a line, certainly purifies his own self. Trishub's enjoying this. Shamalangi said 1 page, so that was enough. I mean, as a minimum, you can do 1 page. But Bhagavata, every syllable is transcendental. It's a part of Krishna. One who hears this Bhagavatam on the Ekadashi or Dwadashi day is assured of a long life. And one who recites it with careful attention while fasting is purified of all sinful reactions. One who controls his mind, fasts at the holy places Pushkar, Mathura, or Dwarka, and studies his scripture will become free of all fear. Upon the person who glorifies this Purana by chanting or hearing it, the demigods, sages, siddhas, pittas, manus, and kings of the earth bestow all desirable things. By studying the Srimad Bhagavatam, a Brahmana can enjoy the same rivers of honey, ghee, and milk he enjoys by studying the hymns of the Rig, Yajur, and Samavedas. A Brahmana who diligently reads this essential compilation of all the Puranas will go to the supreme destination, which the Supreme Lord himself has herein described. A Brahmana who studies the Srimad Bhagavatam achieves firm intelligence in devotional service. A king who studies it gains sovereignty over the earth. A Vaishya acquires great treasure, and a Shudra is freed from sinful reactions. Lord Hari, the supreme controller of all beings, annihilates the accumulated sins of the Kali age. Yet other literatures do not constantly glorify him. But that Supreme Personality of Godhead, appearing in his innumerable personal expansions, is abundantly and constantly described throughout the various narrations of the Srimad Bhagavatam. I bow down to that unborn and infinite Supreme Soul whose personal energies affect the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the material universe. Even Brahma, Indra, Shankara, and the other lords of the heavenly planets cannot fathom the glories of that infallible Personality of Godhead. I offer my obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the eternal Lord and the leader of all other deities, who by evolving his 9 material energies has arranged within himself the abode of all moving and non-moving creatures, and who is always situated in pure transcendental consciousness. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, the son of Vyasadeva, Shukadeva Goswami. It is he who defeats all inauspicious things within this universe. Although in the beginning he was absorbed in the happiness of Brahman realization and was living in a secluded place, giving up all the types of consciousness, he became attracted by the pleasing, most melodious pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna. He therefore mercifully spoke this supreme Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the bright light of the absolute truth and which describes the activities of the Lord. Purport: without offering respectful obeisances to Shukadeva Goswami and other great acharyas in his line, one cannot possibly gain the privilege of entering into the deep transcendental meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam. And now, the next part of our program is that Malini Mataji will come and announce the Srimad Bhagavatam receivers and donors. So, actually, she just walked in when I said that. So let's welcome Malini Devi Dasa.
Hare Krishna. We are actually very thankful to all the devotees who participated in this Bhadra campaign. Even just till now, while we were compiling this course, we have been receiving requests to include their sponsorships. So we're just counting and calibrating all those scores. At this time, we would give an opportunity if somebody wants to give a gift in front of the deities to somebody who they wanted to give. I know that some of them are here who wanted to receive gifts from His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu also. So what we would do at this time, that you can raise your hand if you have someone in mind who are going to give as a gift to and who is here, or if you are here, you have already sponsored and you can receive your golden thrones from His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu. We just want to receive a show of hands so that we know how much time we need to allocate. Is anybody here? Oh, Prabhu is here. Okay. All right. So maybe we can line up next to Srila Prabhupada there, and His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu will hand over those thrones to you, and then you can give it as a gift to the recipients if they are here. If not, you can just receive your thrones from His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu.
You got that already? Okay.
Okay.
What
While
do you want me to do? Stand over there?
yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Even if your recipient is not here, you can still come and receive your thrones from His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu, and you can send them over. And while
Do
this
I
is
get credit for handing over free gifts on the...
Prabhuji, you will get credit for all the sets that were distributed throughout the world. And during this time, we can request someone to do kirtan as well.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Haribol.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Even though the recipients are not here, many of you have already sponsored, so you can still come up and receive the Bhagavatam from His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu, and you can send it later also. So this is your chance. You have 5 more minutes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna. We also got 5 sets for India from Sundarananda Prabhu here. Okay. Just now. So one more announcement, the moon is rising. It's a good auspicious time. Please come forward if you've not taken any set today.
While we are waiting for devotees to line up, we actually want to read the names of all the devotees who have sponsored the Bhagavatam sets. And this was actually started since we launched the Bhadra campaign in Sadhu Sangha. Many devotees have sponsored for Bhadra Purnima since Sadhu Sangha, for Janmashtami, and for Bhadra campaign. So we are so grateful, and we are just reading these names to Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Lakshmi Narsingadev, and praying for their well-being and for their going back to Godhead. Abhay Charan Das, Amarender Nagavarapu, Abhijit Dande, Abhishek, Abhinash Sahu, Achyuta Kumar Das, Achyuta Chaitanya Das, Adi Nelumir, Ajay and Neetu Singh, Akarshani Radhika Devidasi, Akshina Mangala Devidasi, Alex Kool, Amit Singh, Anand Rammurthy, Anand Vilas Das, Anand Chaitanya Das, Anand Das, Ananga Gopika Devidasi, Anika Datta and Sunita Datta, Prabhir Datta, Anirban Patil, Aniruddha Mataji, Ankita Dash, Anonymous, many, Anshu Raina, Anuj Shrotriya, Anupam Mahapatra, Apara Gaurangi, Aprameya, Arun Chaitanya, Balaji Megarajan, Balamukunda Das, Balimardan Das, Bhakta Adam, Keri Snapansky, Darshan Sinde, Das of Hari, Deepali Mittal and Sachin Mittal, Deepti Singh, Dheera Prashant Das, Dilip Prabhu, Deepak Majmadur, Divyang Shah, Douglas, Eugene Ronan, Fawny Spotswood, Gaurav Verma, Gautam Gautamiya Gangadas, Gayeshwari Radha Devidasi, Geeta Kumari, Geetapriya Manthati, Govinda Priya Desai, Gurudev Sirisi, Hari Sankirtan Das, Hari Priya Ruchir Pandit, Harshal Ahir Rao, Hassan Narsimhan, Iluta Kailis, Ishwari Radha Devidasi, Izan Russian, Jagadish Plapka Kittu, Jayant Kashi, Jayesh Patel, Jyoti Sonik, Kamalben Siddhapura, Kanka Mataji, Karishma Venkata, Kavita Mataji, Ketan Modi, Kishori Priya Devidasi, Florida, Krishna Karuna Dasi, Kunti Mataji, Kushal Bansal Prabhu, Lalita Gopinath Mataji, Lekha Liliana, Ludimila Gorineka, Lakshmi Priya Devidasi, Madhuri Devang Desai, Manjari Gopika for sister in India, Manoj Gupta, Mayank Agarwal, Mayapur Bihari Das, Mayank Prabhu, Minesh Patil, Mohan Rao Keta, Mudita Sharma, Mukharavinda Das, Nam Smaran Das, Narasimha Prabhu, Neha Vashishta, Niharika and Remuna, Nikunja Sundari Devidasi, Nirakula Devidasi, Haribol, Omkar Prabhu, Payal Mishra, Fani Pisapati, Purnita Mataji, Prabir Sunita, Anika Datta, Prashant Hanumanta, Preeti Radhika Devidasi, Priya Kishori Devidasi, Priyanka Sharma, Pushpendra Pandey, Radha Gokulananda Dasi, Radha Joshi, Radhika Kansra, Radhika Kasturi, Raghav Prabhu, Florida, Rahul Srivastava, Ramesh Bolneni, Rasaprada Das, Rasika Shiromani Devidasi and Govinda Charan Das, Sabine Griffith, Sachinandan Nimai Das, and Jai Shri Radhe Devidasi, Sadhana Allen, Sanatan Sundaram Das and Gandharvika Radha Devidasi, Saurabh Bhatia, Shanta Lal Bahadur, Sharon Ten, Shauna Nielsen, Shraddha Devidasi, Shrubha Mataji, Sham Gobindram, Siddhakata Das, Shirisa Nednur, Shivakumar Gurumurti, Shri Krishna Purushottam Das, Spring Horton, Sridhar Siramineni or Sham Sundar Das, Shri Antariksha Das and Apara Gaurangi Devidasi, Shri Gopal Das, Kameshwari Devidasi and Advaita, Shri Valli Kolaketi, Srivas Pandit Das and Malini Devidasi, Shruba, Avijit and Arushi Banerjee, Sudeep Sabnis, Sumit Modani, Sundarananda Das, Surat Mukher, Sutra Malika Das, Shama Rasika Devidasi, Shamalangi Devidasi and Radha Kripadas, Tadiya Sevadas, Tarang Popat, Tajjana Tanuchi, Thanu P. Subramanyam, Tirthankar Bhaumik, Udit Ruya, Vaikuntanath Prabhu and Bhanu Mataji, Vandana Gupta, Vatsal Kapuria, Virangana Prabhu, Vignesh Prabhu, Vijay Somasundaram, Vijay Damodar Das, Vinay Narsinglu for Arajya, Vinod Madhanu, Vinod Ashrit from Chicago, Vishal Prabhu, Vishal Vasudev, Vrajendra Kumar Das, Yuvraj Verma, Damodar Prasad Das, Anuradha Devidasi, Anuradha Mataji, Mahua Mataji, Trisha Prabhu, Haladara Rupa Das, Kumari Leela Devidasi and Kunjari. I hope we didn't miss anybody. We got everybody who have listed on online and many other places. Rohini and Rupali Mataji and Bishwapati Nityananda Prabhu. Tony from Florida.
For Navadip school, they want two Srimad Bhagavatam sets. One got sponsored. If anybody would like to sponsor, you can take in hands of Vaisesika Prabhu. So everybody knows Navadip school. All kids will read our Bhagavatam. If you'd like to interested, please come. Okay. Two. Your name, Mataji? Kamala Mataji. Hari Hari Bo. Oh, thank you. Jai Shri Radhe Mataji, please come forward. One set, right?
Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
What is your name? So, we got one more sponsorship from Hema Radhika Mataji. What your name, Prabhu?
Sachinandan Haridas.
Sachinandan Das. His mother. Mataji, please come forward.
Hare Rama Rama
Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
So Srivas Pandit Prabhu and Malini Mataji.
Hare Hare.
And also Geeta Priya.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Okay, all done, right?
Sukeshwari is here.
వాళ్ళ అమ్మకి ఇచ్చేస్తాం.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare. What? A toolbar.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Atul Bhatt just sponsored another. Atul Bhatt just sponsored another Srimad Bhagavatam for two sets for Bhadra Purnima. Please give him a hand. Thank you, Atul Bhatt. And
Praveen and Bhagyashri. Hari Hari Bol. What's the baby name? Radhika. Oh, one set for Radhika. Hari Bol.
now we're going to make our. Oh, welcome. Okay, Patrick, come on in. Thank you for keeping us cool here. Right here. Now we're going to have our preliminary offering for this monthly Sankirtan festival. So just now we're going to put away the asans and roll everything up, getting ready for the artik, for the offering here. And after the artik, because more and more requests are coming in on the internet and from various places around Silicon Valley. We're going to have a final tally after we offer our initial tally right now. Okay? So please put away your asanas, and then we're going to gather in a semicircle around the Vyasa, the Sringasan for Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. After the artik, the gifting will still continue.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. We should keep singing until they set up. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ow. Oh my god. Did I tell you I got hit by a car today? Really? I put my brakes on my bike and my bike flashed and I got hit. And then this. What happened to you? How? Because you fell over a bike? I'm raging really tight. I fell over the place fast. What's my name? And my thighs, the tires came hard and I went on my thigh. So it was like, I didn't cry, so you should be proud of me. How did you? I didn't cry. You don't even do that, huh? I can't believe you didn't cry. I swear she did cry. She cried. I Krishna promise. Girl, you cried. I'm about to cry. We know you well enough. I'm about to cry. I ordered my food. I'm so excited. Guys, stop rowdying around. I'm putting my jacket on. Ayola. Here, you can take your beads. Here. I am trying to get them. Oh, by the way, I'm not supposed to tell you something I'm going to tell you. Oh, yeah, I know what it is. No, it's about it's kind of good. This is secret drama. But we're fishing for the picture and we've been into the drama. For
You can move that. Now everyone's invited to come closer to Srila Prabhupada's Vyasasana. And within the next 10 seconds, we're going to go completely silent so that we can hear the offering to Srila Prabhupada for this monthly Sankirtan festival. So come a little closer, everyone. Don't be alarmed, that's a sound of one more set. Okay, and now down to one and we'll go completely silent. 3, 2, 1.
Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories to your divine grace. We are gathered here on the most auspicious occasion, Bhadra Purnima, to offer the results of our monthly Sankirtan festival entitled MSF of Bhadra Purnima. Bhadra Purnima is also the date on which you took sannyas. When someone asked you, "Are you going to America?" you said, "No, Srimad Bhagavatam is going to America. I am going with it." Your dear disciple, His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj, shared these beautiful verses from Krishna Leela Stava, glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. In Krishna Leela Stava, verses 412 to 416, Srila Sanatan Goswami prays, "O Srimad Bhagavatam, O nectar churned from the ocean of all Vedic scriptures, O most prominent transcendental fruit of all Vedas, O you who are enriched with the jewels of all philosophical conclusions, O you who grant spiritual vision to all the people of the world, O life breath of the Vaishnava devotees, O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of the Kali Yuga. You are actually Lord Krishna who has returned among us. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. By reading you, one attains transcendental bliss, for your syllables rain pure love of God upon the reader. You are always to be served by everyone. You are an incarnation of Lord Krishna. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, O my companion, O my teacher, O my great wealth, O my deliverer, O my good fortune, O my bliss, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O giver of saintliness to the unsaintly, O uplifter of the very fallen, please do not ever leave me. Please become manifested upon my heart and my throat, accompanied by pure love of Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, 13th chapter, 13th verse, it states, if on a full moon day on the month of Bhadra, one places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. Here at Team ISV, we had a goal to distribute at least 108 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam from the launch of Bhadra Purnima, which was 13th of July, until today, September 24th. The devotees were trying various avenues to accomplish these goals. The highlights of this MSF were: seminars were conducted in India, Naperville, Europe, and many locations to promote the Bhadra Purnima campaign. Devotees distributed door to door to friends and family and to their colleagues as well. Facebook campaign was launched by corporate Sankirtan team and raised more than $5,400 in Lakshmi. Haribol! His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu personally promoted this Facebook campaign. Kid Sankirtan team was enthusiastic as usual in distributing Srimad Bhagavatam sets. They distributed total of 31 sets for this campaign. For the first time, Team ISV launched a campaign to collaborate with India team to send Srimad Bhagavatams to friends and family in India. We are grateful to Bhima Prabhu, Suvas Prabhu, Shriram Prabhu, and His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu, who helped immensely to make this campaign a success. Motel Gita distributed 2,000 Bhagavad Gitas for this Bhadra campaign. Haribol! A special seminar was conducted by His Grace Radhika Raman Prabhu on asking for forgiveness and accepting forgiveness based on the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. This seminar was received very well by the devotees and had so many practical aspects to it. As we are making this offering of the MSF results, we are pleased to report that all the goals have been successfully met, surpassed, and smashed. With respect to books, in all, more than 120 devotees participated in this book distribution campaign. Haribol! Team ISV distributed 7,653 books, which includes 258 Srimad Bhagavatam sets, 8 surpassing the goal of 108 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. And Team ISV raised $46,954.89 in Lakshmi in just 3 weeks. Haribol! This is not possible without the enthusiasm of the devotees here at ISV and all over the world. And we are also grateful to our Sankirtan devotees who helped spread this mission of Bhadra campaign. We express our deepest gratitude to our beloved Vaisesika Prabhu and Nirakula Mataji, who taught us how to launch such campaigns. His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu is a pioneer and leader who expanded the Bhadra Purnima all over the world. Due to his inspiration, Bhadra Purnima is celebrated all over the world today at such a grand scale, and thousands of Srimad Bhagavatam sets are distributed today. We are grateful to serve under his expert guidance. Haribol! 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 We pray at the lotus feet of Srimad Bhagavatam to shower his blessings upon Team ISV and continue to distribute many thousands of sets in this year and the coming years. MSF of Bhadra Purnima ki, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki, Shriman Mahaprabhu ki, Shri Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Dev ki, Gaura Premanande.
Today is, I think, one of the biggest days here at ISV because of what this campaign represents, which is a new era in book distribution all over the world, the massive distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam, just as Prabhupada wanted. And this special day personified has come forward to benedict all of the devotees in the world with the service of distributing Srimad Bhagavatam. Our deepest gratitude to Sri Krishna Purushottam and Malini for their unswerving faith in the process of distribution of transcendental literature, and not only leading us through launching campaigns, but also by example, going out themselves at all hours of the day and night to distribute Bhagavatam sets, and all over the world for that matter. So let's please thank SKP and Malini for their leadership. Hare Krishna. Go Premanande Hari Hari Bo.